to get back to talking about winning. We can't be afraid of it anymore. We got to let the past go behind us, but we got to realize that sports in life is all about winning. And when you don't win, that's not a bad thing. It's just feedback. So I've tried to do this video about 4 times, and each time I get a little frustrated with myself. I get a little worried about what people are going to think, which is really one of the first things I teach my athletes not to do, is worry about what people think. Because that's a trait that for your whole life is going to set you apart. It's going to allow you to be who you want to be. And so this topic about winning, I know is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I guess that's a good thing if I think about it. So somewhere along the way, winning became a bad word, and winning in sports became a bad word, especially in young sports. And so a lot of the athletes who I deal with, and a lot of the entrepreneurs and the business people and things like that, it's like they almost feel guilty talking about winning. I saw a video the other day that struck me. It was talking about how this speaker, and I can't forget the name, I can't remember the name of the speaker, but so when people come up to him, they always talk about what's going wrong in their life. And rarely do people talk about what's good in their life, like they feel guilty. And I think that's what happens when we talk about winning. So what I love about sports is that they're hard edges, right? I'm totally capable operating in the gray area, but I also love, what I love about sports is that they're hard edges. We have boundaries, we have goals, we have scores to keep, we have stats to help us get us closer to that winning result. And a number of years ago, probably because there were some coaches that sat kids on the bench because they weren't necessarily the best kids to help the team win at the end of a game, they became enemies, which is a shame because I believe every coach deserves way more respect than what they typically get. So these coaches were basically chastised, if that's the word, by parents and athletes who weren't seeing the field of play at those exciting times. But the coach had made a decision, for whatever reasons, to not play that person. So then what we got away from, we said, coaches who coach to win at all costs they're evil, right? They're evil. And so the kids should just play. And I'll tell you, a lot of the athletes I deal with, we get to this kind of point in the conversation where they lack the edge to really push things over the edge and to win. And I grew up competing in a sport that was dominated by the Germans. Like a whole country dominated our sport. And the competition within their organization, within their country, was so high. Like if you weren't winning, then you weren't going to see the field of play, right? And that's not a bad thing when you leave, when there's some German athletes who are disappointed they can't make it work and then they transition to something else. That's fine. We've got to stick to those rules, because when we try to make sport or any environment we're in just fun and dismiss the idea of winning, then we're missing the point. When I work with an athlete, one of the things that we define pretty quickly are the hard edges. What are they, first and foremost, like what is the goal we're looking to reach? Maybe it's someone's trying to write a book or start a company, or they're trying to make a team, or they're trying to get accepted to university. There's certain hard edges around all those goals. But if you don't have the goal, you don't have the edges, right? I love the quote by Arnold Palmer, who is one of the greatest golfers of all time. Like Tiger Woods is trying to beat Arnold Palmer's, all of his records. And Arnold Palmer always said that he never took a shot, he never hit a golf ball without having a vision of where he wanted that ball to end up. And the critical piece to this is that the reason he did that was because when he had that vision, when he had that goal, when he had that that image in his mind, and then he set up and took the shot. If that ball landed left or right or long or short, he now had feedback. Now, feedback is the most important thing you can get in life, right? If you're not getting feedback, then you're not making progress either forward or back. And that's the piece when people wish that things were more fun. What makes things fun is progress, right? What makes things fun is when you're advancing towards a vision of what you want to have happen. So when you step onto the field, the vision is to win on the scoreboard, right? That's to be the winning team, and that's fun. If you go out there every single day and you are just playing for whatever reason and you're not working towards something, well, then that thing you're doing can now be quickly replaced with something else that's more fun, right? So I don't encourage people to talk about sport being fun or the thing they're doing being fun. It's a bonus if it can be fun, but it's not the goal. The goal is not to have fun by doing this thing. The goal is to have progress to reach a goal and do it under enjoyable experience. I've worked with amazing athletes who have coaches who are completely, a lot of people would describe them as like completely hard-nosed and insensitive, but that athlete craves the direction to help them get to their goal and to win. And so winning is the outcome, right? Winning is the result now of all the good work in between that helps them get to that outcome. But when we take winning out of the equation, like it's a bad word, now we lose that anchor, we lose that direction, right? And we don't want that. We want to basically have something that we can work towards, because if we don't feel like we're working towards something, then we're going to quickly get distracted by something else that gives us more pleasure, that soothes our needs or takes us towards another goal, right? And so I want us to get back to the word winning. And I want every day to be thinking, like, am I making progress? Because progress is winning, right? Progress is taking you towards an outcome. And when you have progress, you build confidence, you build self-confidence. And from self-confidence, then you're willing to take the next step and the next step and the next step. And when you get to a point, when you get to a little bit of a ceiling and now things aren't really working, but you have this vision of where you want to go, now you can sidestep that thing that's giving you difficulty and move forward. There's nothing wrong with the word winning.